Hi, it's Michelle Last here. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, and I'm sharing a video today and showing you how to make these adorable little Easter treat pouches. So I have two here that are the same. This one's filled with eggs, and it has a curved base, so they can't stand up, but they sit really nicely. They look great for table decor, so if you're creating table place settings, they look great. You can give them as gifts, you can create bunting, and if you want to give them or post them with eggs and you're worried about the contents falling out, you can purchase these little cello bags that they fit in perfectly, which holds all the contents inside. So come with me and I'll show you how to make them. So to make our little Easter bunny, we're going to use the craft pillow boxes from Stampin' Up. They come in a pack of 10. They're £4.75. So just grab your one of those, and that's what we're going to use to create the bunny rabbit. The smaller one that I've got here, this is the slightly larger one. The smaller one is measured from the base here up by 8 centimetres or 3 1/4 inches. If you want the slightly taller bunny, he's 9 centimetres high or 3 1/2 inches. So let's take our pillow box and pop it in the little paper cutter at approximately 8 centimetres and cut through that. That's going to be the base of our bunny. Make sure that you have the little finger notch side facing down, and the reason for that is we just don't want we want to be able to fold that piece down. You'll see what I mean when I get to that part. This is the leftover piece. What I want you to do is just reinforce the creases at the end of the pillow box, and that's just so that we can see the crease lines, and that's going to make it easier for our scissors to follow that line and know where to cut out, which is what is used to create the ears. So you don't have to guess at the ear shape, it's pretty much done for you as part of the box. So here are your 2 ears. Now I'm just going to grab a bone folder and just break down the fibres a little bit and curl my ear slightly. That's going to be 1 ear, and then the same with this ear. And then what we have to do is we need to fold down the ear from this point here facing outwards. So fold it until you can just see the top of the finger mark, if you see what I mean, and bend it so that we've got a slanty ear, so that when you stick them down, your ears will look like that. Now I'm going to grab a sponge dauber. I keep my sponge daubers in these little half-wide stamp cases. You get 4 for £4.75, and they are the perfect depth for a sponge dauber. So I'm going to grab my pink one, and what I tend to do is I just have like a pink one and a blue one, and then when I go to use it, I twist it on my piece of paper to either remove the ink or see what colour ink I've used, and depending on how bright or vivid, depends on whether I re-ink it. So I'm going to re-ink this very slightly just to create a nice inner pink area on my ear. Always dab it off because you can see that that's really vivid. So just gently, I'm going to add a bit of pink on the inside of my ear and do it on both of them. That's just going to add a nice little feature, and then I'm going to add some pink cheeks to the front of my box. Remember, the finger notch facing down. We're going to decide where we want our little cheeks to go. So this is the crease, so that's where this part will be. So I want my cheeks to be sort of central or slightly more than central to the top half of the box, and I'm just twisting until I've got a little pink cheek. And now I'm going to create the nose and the eyes. So to create the nose, I've used the classic label punch. That's on page 186 of the annual catalogue, and it's £17. You could use anything you wanted. So for example, on this one, I used the bottom of a little heart punch. You could just cut a triangle if you wished, but I've got all the gear and no idea. So I'm going to cut just a little bit out like this to create a nose. And then I'm going to use my same little black piece of scrap, and I need to cut out 2 holes. You can do that with a hole punch or any tool that you have on hand. You could even use googly eyes that you can buy from various places, whatever works for you. And I'm going to punch it out so that I've got 2 little dots, which are perfect for my eyes. I'm going to grab our burlap ribbon. This is great for the whiskers. There are other ways of creating it, but this is certainly the easiest way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off these edge side pieces. And basically I just want 4 strands. So I just cut into the strands, roughly the length, I'll just cut off one of the strands, we don't want to do that. That's not the end of the world because I've got plenty. So let's do it again. 1, just wanted to catch, that's why it's going hanging over itself. How many have we got here? We've got 3, so I just need 1 more. And I'll trim off the extra pieces, I don't need those for the moment. And I just need to do double that length. So I'm just using it as a guide to cut off the final length that I need, and then all I need to do is just continue this trim down the burlap so that I've just got 4 strands basically. Got an extra one there, pull that one off. Okay, so on the reverse of my nose I'm going to put a little glue dot and stick the centre section of the burlap. I'm going to squish it so it fits on my glue dot on the back of my nose, and then I'm going to break this one apart. I haven't cut into that one yet, I found it easier to stick it down before I'd cut it, before I'd broken it apart. And then I'm going to stick a little mini dimensional, which is like a foam pad, on the back and stick my nose in place. Got all threads and fibres everywhere now. Okay, so wherever I feel that I'm happy for the nose to go, pop that in place, and then I can move and manipulate my whiskers to make them look good and where I want them to be. So you can have a little play with those and then trim them down. I find it easier to trim them down once they're on the pillow box because you can just see how long you want them to be. If you want them to be longer than the box, they can be. Now to stick our eyes in place, I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Pick-Up Take Your Pick tool. It's a pick-up tool, and I'm going to pop my eyes where I want them to go, but I'm going to go a little bit higher than I would like them to go. And the reason for that is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue slightly below, tiny dot of glue. I'm using Tombow. All the products I'm using today are available from my online shop. But obviously you can use anything that you have at home. It's the wrong end. So I don't know if you saw, we've got a pokey tool at one end and the pick-up tool at the other end. So I just pop that on the glue. This glue does dry clear, so if I manage to get a bit of extra glue, it's not the end of the world. Whoa. Gosh. There we go. So when I'm happy that my eyes are in the right place, if I'm not happy, I can move them a fraction. I think I'm happy. And obviously that white rim halo you can see will dry clear, so that's no problem, that'll be hidden. Then we need to close the end of our pillow box, and this is why I was saying that the little finger notch should be on the underside, because when we fold that down and we fold this one over the top, what I didn't want was for the finger notch to be showing just here. So now what I'm going to do is just add a bit of Tombow glue to here, and I need to hold it for a few seconds just to get it to stick in place. I find pushing the box open at the bottom or the top, whichever you consider it to be, will help it open up, and which will help it stick in place. So we'll just hold that for a second or two while it sticks in place. And now we can position our ears. So think about where you'd like your ears to go. I've used a glue dot for this again. And the reason I've used a glue dot is I stuck them down the first couple of times and I wasn't happy with where they were. So at least by using a glue dot, it meant I could have a little reposition if I wanted to. I'm just sticking the base of the glue dot on the base of my ear, on the reverse there, and then positioning it where I want it to be. Sorry, it's hard for me to do it without leaning over. I'm doing it so you've got a good angle, but it's making it harder for me. There we go. So whenever I'm happy with the ears, am I happy with those ears? I think I need to move this ear a fraction. So I can do that because I've used this glue dot. And then when you're happy, give them a really hard press down and then they'll stay in place. So that's my ears. Now I want this ear to stay flat down. So I'm going to create a depth of 3 dimensionals all on top of one another to give it some depth, but to give it some dimension. So can you see I've got a little sandwich of 3 dimensionals there. I'm going to stick that here. Peel the top piece off, and then when I stick that down, that's not going to keep wanting to lift up. Okay, so there's my fundamental basics of my bunny. You can now go ahead and fill the inside with raffia, your eggs, whatever you wish, and I've decorated with flowers and a little raffia bow. So you can create your raffia bow using burlap ribbon. Obviously I've used 3 strands, so you would need to cut a length which has only got 3 strands on it. It's quite easy to divide it once you get going. So for example, if I was to cut down there and then just pull it apart, she says, use your scissors is probably for the best. Then just tie a bow as you would normally. And then obviously that's what can go in the corner here. Now if you look at this one, I added ribbon. You can use whatever you wish, but I'm going to show you how to make the little flowers. So to make the little flowers, we have the small bloom punch. This is free from Stampin' Up till the end of March with a £90 order. So if you spend £90 on product, you can choose this punch for free. If you don't spend £90, this punch will be going into the new annual catalogue and you will be able to buy it. So that will be from June the 3rd. So what you need to do to create the little flower, I'm just going to create one at the moment, is just punch out one. And all I did was I found another dauber with a base colour in the middle and I just added a little bit of colour in the centre there. And then I wanted to add a little embellishment in the middle. Now you can bend your little flower. The easy way is just to bend all the petals, just to give it a bit of dimension and make the petals curl. You can use your bone folder for that if you wish. And so if I pick out some little, I don't know whether these were old candy dots, I'm not sure where these were, which catalogue publication these were from, but that's my basic fundamental flower, which would just stick here and stick on the ear. I did punch 3 altogether, so there was 1, 2 and then 1 on the back. To show you how to make the leaf, all I did was I punched half of a flower. Let's do it like this. So I punched out that shape using the flower punch, and then I just manually folded the leaf in half and just trimmed off the extras. And then what I can do is just stick that on the back of the flower, and then I've got a little leaf from the same punch. And just very quickly, I'm going to show you how you can get one punch, the flower shape with this punch. You can also create a different shaped flower from the same punch if you are to stick a post-it note on the flower to act as like a hook to be able to put it inside the punch again. And what you're going to do is put it inside the punch and line it up so that the pointed pieces are in the middle of every petal of the flower. Can you see that? And then punch. And then once I remove my little bits of post-it note here, you can see we've got two very different punch out shapes from the same punch. So you'd have two different style flowers. I think that's pretty cool. So once you've created your flower and stuck your little petals down, which I'll do with the Tombow, it doesn't take very long at all. With a glue dot again, or Tombow if you wish, you're going to stick this on the bunny, and you're going to stick the other two on the ear and fill with your Easter treats. So pretty quick and simple, slightly different measurement. You can go longer on the pillow box if you wish, as I have done on this one. You can put them in the cello bags, we sell these too, which will hold all the eggs in if you actually want to give them to someone or for packaging or posting. They're just a really fun way of creating just a little bit of Easter happiness, which I think we could all do with right now. And I am thinking actually getting a little row of these and tying them together with ribbon and creating bunting would look really cute. And because you get 10 in each pack, a couple of packs, you'd have 20 bunnies, you'd be off and away. So I really hope that you give this a try. I will list all the products that I've used on my blog and also in my YouTube video. So please let me know if you've created them and if you've tried them, and do get in touch if you need any of the products. Thanks for watching.